Welcome. I'm Danielle Sally.
And I'm Eva Fusa.
And you're listening to Ghost Boss, stories about the freelance afterlife.
Hey, Ghosties!
Yeah, she did it, guys! Season finale.
She finally said it. Doing it because it's the finale.
I looked at her and I said, "You want to do this?" And she did not seem like she did. But I reminded her this is season finale, which I realized we probably haven't told our listeners.
Oh yeah, this is the season finale.
So it's summertime and
we need a break.
We need a break. And summer camps have started. And
well, for you.
Well, for me. Eva's still in school.
We record a couple weeks ahead. So we're recording this before it actually goes out.
Yes.
But
and so we're looking at our schedules and it's going to be tough to get together over the summer. So we have decided let's just take a couple maybe months.
Yeah, we're going to take a couple months off. Now we have some bonus episodes in the queue that I'm going to edit.
Yes.
For full transparency, y'all, this would not have happened without Danielle. She does all of our social. She built our website. She did our logo.
My God, when you say it all like that.
No, I know. I'm just the talent.
Because I am not.
You are the talent, but you are the talent in all of that. And I am just the talent.
Listen, we did what we needed to do to get up. Well, I did what I needed to do to get up and running.
Well, we had a conversation at the beginning. We'd been talking about this podcast for a while.
Yes.
This actually feels appropriate because today's episode is just going to all be about like what we've learned in our first season. But we had a conversation when we started this because we've been talking about doing a podcast, and I called you one day after I'd been on a podcast. I was like, oh my God, it was great. I'm so excited. Let's do it. And I was like, but full transparency, like I just started my year as AAF president.
Yeah.
I had some personal stuff going on and I was like, I can't really commit to a whole lot of time right now.
Yes.
And Danielle was like, that's fine. I can do a lot of that now. And then we'll kind of shift some stuff around. So part of that shifting around is I'm in charge of editing the bonus episodes.
Yes.
She edits these long episodes.
I told her the bonus episodes are a good way to kind of get your feet wet to editing the full episode.
And I think I can do it. I mean, I'm confident in it. But anyway, so y'all will get some bonus episodes that I'm going to edit.
Yes,
which
we
I'm very excited
will
about.
Trickle those in.
Yeah, so you'll get a little bit of content.
And then we are planning to be back probably end of summer.
Yeah.
Before the official start, definitely before the start of fall.
Yeah. So probably late August, early September.
Yeah, that's the goal.
We're not going to tell you the actual date we have written on our calendars.
Yes.
Just in case it doesn't work out.
Right. Or if we decided we just miss each other and we need to get back in the studio and then we'll get episodes earlier.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Follow our social at Ghost Boss Podcast and we will make sure to keep giving you guys information. And we'll still drop some clips in there during the summer. So please keep following us. Please like the post.
Like the post.
It's
y'all.
Exhausting.
Danielle, she needs it. The Aries in her.
I need it. So Eva, I do want to bring something up. So we of course record these a couple of weeks in advance, but I just started listening to the one that came out this week was talking about how you asked me about a ghost tattoo.
Oh yeah.
So I've spent a lot of time thinking about it since then.
Yeah, you have.
And okay, so here's the thing. I went to my husband. His way of showing his support. He bought me a bunch of temporary tattoos, like a ton of them.
To like try it out.
Tattoos too. I don't have them on yet, but he bought me a bunch of these so I can try it.
Sweet.
Isn't that nice? So I can try them in different areas and see how I'm feeling and like just make sure I'm committed. So here's what I started overthinking about though.
Okay.
It's the headphones thing.
What about it?
Because technology never ages well.
So no, but I would counter with this.
Yeah, counter.
The size of the tattoo, I'm thinking it's going to be relatively small.
Yeah.
In tattoo speak, it's going to be small.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not getting a giant one.
No. In tattoo speak, it's going to be small and less is more. So if it's like nondescript details.
Sure.
Like I would argue like a basic drawing of black headphones.
Yeah. Okay.
It's probably going to look the same now.
Right. Because you think about like how microphones have changed in like our lifetime. But and then think about like, what if I had an iPhone tattooed on my body? That'd be weird.
Well, but it would look roughly the same as it does now. Roughly.
Well, they won't exist.
How long have iPhones been around? 15 years at this point?
Yeah. But like, think about like, would I have gotten a rotary phone?
Sometimes.
See the point I'm making now?
No.
I'm concerned with technology aging.
Sometimes your tattoos are going to age and that's okay.
Yeah.
So like over the weekend, I was out at the lake and one of my mom friends, like I was in a bathing suit. So she saw a bunch of the tattoos on my back, which she'd never seen before because she sees the ones on my arms.
Right.
So she was asking me about the ones on my back. And so I have a bunch of birds tattooed on my back.
Yeah.
They're swallows. I don't know if you remember, but many people listening to this probably remember in the 07, 08, 09 kind of time, everything had a bird on it. Portlandia had a whole thing, put a bird on it. And we all were into this idea of a swallow because when you're on a ship and you're a captain and you see a swallow, it means you're near land. It's this whole analogy about like finding your way home during a journey. I really thought I was doing something.
Yeah. So you put it on your body.
I have 4 of them. All my other tattoos are a bit more timeless because they are something that means something very specific to me. But that one, when I tell the story about it, I'm like, look, man, I got it in like, I don't know, 2008, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's when I got it. And so it was very like typical for a tattoo at that time.
Right.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, is it?
It is. It is because it kind of captures like a time for me.
Yeah.
Like I was not the only woman around that age getting that tattoo.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like it captured me at a certain time. So sometimes tattoos are about capturing a time and aging.
Okay.
That time.
Oh, fine. Well, then we should get AirPods. No.
Oh, for me? You can't see them. I put them in the little ghost ears.
I'll just say they're AirPods in the ghost ears.
I mean, if you don't want to get headphoned, we also don't have to be matchy-matchy.
I'll think it through a little bit more. I think I have I went through a rabbit hole of looking at ghost tattoos. So
I mean, I do feel like though, either we do tech or we don't do tech. Even if we don't do matchy-matchy.
Yeah.
We do tech in the tattoos.
There should be something.
Or we don't do the tech. Like if you just want a ghost tattoo, I'll just get a ghost tattoo.
There we go. We'll figure it out.
I think the headphones would be cool.
I know. You kind of talked me back into it. So we'll get there.
I'll show you some pictures. I think I sent you some pictures.
You did. I started overthinking the fact that headphones changed during the years.
This is why. This is first tattoo-itis. Is what you got going on.
And now I'm going to get like 50 by the time that.
Yeah, you're going to be great. This is why you let the artist deal with it.
Yes.
You don't need to make these decisions because you're not the artist here.
But I like control.
No, I know. I'm aware. We've met. But you got to let go.
I know. I struggle.
It's fine.
Oh, man.
Where are we getting it? Have you decided?
Huh?
Have you decided?
I think.
Do you want the forearm?
I think I'm liking somewhere here. I haven't decided. But I'm thinking.
Wow.
I know. Well, I want someone to see it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't want to hide it.
So my first tattoo, the bird that I got on my lower back, also very 2008 low-waisted jeans. Yeah. Anyways, but at the time, I would get tattoos that were easy to cover up because of my job. Yeah. See, I don't want anything below my elbow. We don't have to get them in the same place either.
No. Yeah.
I don't want anything below my elbows.
You're good. Well, and honestly, by the time we do it, I'm going to be like, behind my left ear. No.
Don't do a tattoo.
That's not what I want.
The skin's really thin.
I'm not doing it. I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
By the time we actually do this, I could go way different.
I saw a placement thing where it would be cute if we both did our forearms and they'd be like side by side. Maybe I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
We got all summer.
Oh, all summer, guys, and you won't get any updates.
You might.
You might. We might.
So, anyways, you think about it.
All right, we're going to keep thinking about this.
So, anyways, on to the topic for the day.
Yes, the topic.
So, we started this podcast back in November.
Yes.
So, we launched what? You know these things.
November 14th.
All right. So, I'm looking back. Looking back.
When was our first recording?
We recorded for the first time on October 2nd.
But I do recall.
Yeah.
We had to trash that entire episode.
Did we?
Yeah, because we really didn't know what we were doing and we didn't have the mic set up.
Oh, no. We had mic set up just probably incorrectly.
Oh, yeah. And we were still like trying to figure out the camera thing. That's why we don't have the video from the first couple episodes.
Sure.
But look at how we've grown since then.
So this is something I do sometimes when I'm scrolling. I look through our beautifully done social media.
Yeah.
Our videos have gotten so much better, not only in like angle and like using the phone instead of the MacBook, but like we have gotten better at being like camera ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we look better.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's this sweater that I wore in the fall that I really liked. And I do not look good in it when I'm sitting down in front of a camera for an hour. Fair.
And I think that I recall the episode you're talking about because we were still using the MacBook camera. I think at that point.
I was looking up.
Oh, man.
So anyway, so October 2nd is the first time we recorded. We didn't come back until the 23rd.
Yes.
So you probably took the content home, realized it was trash.
Yep.
And then we came back on the 23rd. And then our second real recording that we could use was on Halloween.
Yes.
So then we were starting to record every week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And we've learned a lot in this time. So we really did. We kind of went into this with a nugget of an idea.
Sure.
We knew like, okay, we had a name.
Yeah.
We knew what we wanted to call it.
Uh-huh.
And we at first
just a name and a dream.
A name and a dream. And we were like, we're two designers. We'll talk about design stuff. And then it quickly shifted. And we really talked more about work habits and everything that we've learned through our freelancing careers and our freelancing hot takes. And
not cold cuts.
Not cold cuts. Hot takes. And it's kind of just keep growing and growing. And so we appreciate everyone that's listened so far because you have kind of seen the evolution of the first season of Ghost Boss. So next season, we're going to talk about what are some of the type of things that we want to do more in season 2 of Ghost Boss.
Yeah.
One of those things that we've had a lot of people say, hey, I want to be on your podcast. And I have said to them, you got to let us figure out logistics of a third mic.
Well, yeah. And we already have somebody identified. She's already agreed.
Yes.
Our friend Mina.
Yes.
Which we'll leave this in. She's supposed to be our first guest. If it doesn't happen, I'll explain to you why later. I don't know why it wouldn't happen. She's already told me she'll come on.
So we have a few more too. And so once we figure out logistics of getting the recording set up, then we really want to start having more guests on our podcast. Yeah.
We have to soft launch it with somebody who can watch us. Like, you should see our sound checks, everybody. It's
even today. What a mess.
There are days that I'm like, y'all probably think I've never touched a computer in my entire life with how I'm behaving at the moment, trying to get this stuff set up. So we gotta figure it out. So we're going to try to do some episodes with guests.
Yes.
There'll be some episodes still with just us.
Yes.
In next season.
Yeah. Because there needs to be. You and I need our time together.
That's right. That's right. Ghost bossing, as we call it. But yeah. So what is the biggest thing? I already know my answer.
Oh.
A lot of times if I ask a question, I already know my answer.
Well, that's what I figured.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself? We'll do a couple of these. What's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself in this first season of the podcast?
Let me think about that. I'm going to throw it to you since you already have answers to all your questions.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start. I'll come up with an answer.
Yeah. You're going to find this really funny.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've learned about myself is my face. Danielle, my face.
Oh, I love it.
Danielle, my face.
That's your face.
It's just, all day.
Well, true. Actually, that did make me think. So when I went into this, my biggest fear was that we're going to find out our voices suck for podcasting.
So that was 2 things about that.
Yeah.
Several people have said to me, you two have great podcast voice. Even people like that they don't do anything with what we do.
So here's what's
They're just friends that have listened to us.
Everyone hates listening back their own voice, right?
I don't now.
No, I love hearing myself.
Oh my God. So, okay.
Isn't that wild?
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking that and I was like, it's probably going to sound a little vain, but I was like, previous to this, if I had to watch back recordings of myself or listen back to myself, I didn't love hearing the sound of my voice. Sometimes I was like, oh my God.
Same.
And now I actually like listening to myself.
Yeah.
Not in like a weird, I just want to listen to me way, but like when I listen to our podcast, like, cause Danielle will send me cuts and, you know, and sometimes I listen to it when it's like live.
Right.
And sometimes I go back and listen to old episodes. I like my voice now. I think our voices work well together. And I also think it's kind of like, also seeing my recording every week is helpful too. I think we get really hung up because we don't hear our voice normally. We don't see our faces normally.
Well, the other thing, I think about it, normal past times when I have heard my voice.
Are you leaving like a voicemail or something?
Well, if it's a recording, it's probably something that I'm reading off of a script.
Oh, so you're not natural.
And I'm not natural. Yeah. Whereas on the podcast, we don't even have an outline.
We don't do outlines anymore.
We're winging this.
I mean, that's part of what y'all are getting.
That's part of what this is. It's just a natural conversation. So I feel like that's probably why I don't cringe at the sound of my own voice anymore, which I really thought that was the thing. I was so worried about that because there's been podcasts attempted to listen to.
Oh no, the voice, you can't.
The voice could kill it. And I was so nervous about that. So I appreciate everyone that has reached out that said, you guys have great voices.
I appreciate that too. And it's interesting because I do feel like people get hung up. Like, I think my voice sounds lower on recording than it sounds in my head.
Yeah.
I also, I hear an accent when I listen to myself being recorded that I don't hear when I talk.
Yeah.
And it's just like seeing pictures of yourself. It's because now I've been desensitized to those things. So like, I was listening to an early cut of this week's episode last night, and there was only like one time that I was like, I say that word interestingly. Whereas like early recordings, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I talk like that all the time.
That is the hard part of it, is you realize what sayings you say
over and over and over again.
Over and over.
Do the things.
Like, it's fascinating.
It's fascinating.
All the things.
All the things.
It's funny, but I do that one all the time. But it's funny because
I was talking to our friend Whitney one day, and I said something about, I feel like I say, and I can't remember which one it was, but I feel like I say this a lot on the pod and this a lot on the pod. And Whitney goes, or all the time. Eva, you say those things constantly.
All the time.
So you figure out your like catchphrases.
Which that's good and bad.
It's fine
in and of itself.
You do them. Everybody does them.
Everyone does it.
Everybody does them.
And that's the other thing with doing the podcast. I feel like my imposter syndrome at the start of this was high.
Yeah.
Because also the thing with this whole podcast, and I've said this before, is we've launched it just a couple months after I started my own company.
Right.
And so I'm new to full-time freelance life.
Sure.
And it's been interesting because this has kind of been a journey of my first year, because during the break, I will have hit my 1 year anniversary of starting my own company. So July 1 will be my first full year. So it's nice that I kind of have this all documented in a way.
Yeah.
But like, so when we started, it's like, Am I an expert in talking about these things? Now that we are where we are, to me, it's not so much questioning myself on if I'm an expert.
Right.
It's just reminding myself that like I have expertise in this area and I am sharing my point of view.
Yeah.
On it. And that's really all we're all doing.
Yeah,
we're all just sharing like this has been our experience on doing it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of helped me overcome the imposter. I'm still going to have it.
No, everyone
does. But it's definitely like given me a boost of confidence running my own company and just being a designer. And it's nice. It's a nice little feeling. I enjoy it.
I love it. So like imposter syndrome, I know we did like a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
But, it is something that I just... I struggled with it for a long time.
Yeah.
Everybody does. I have a lot of very strong opinions on imposter syndrome, more than what was captured on the pod. And so when I hear other people, especially other creatives, especially other women, talk about overcoming it, like it just makes me so happy.
We need to overcome that.
It's fine, y'all. You're doing great.
We're all doing great.
We're doing great.
So, so another thing that I wanted to ask you about.
Oh yeah. What else?
I'm over here. I'm pulling up a list.
No. Did you write me a list?
Well, no. Oh, I should have done it. But
no, we don't outline at this point. I know.
So no, I was pulling up our analytics on the whole podcast and our top 5 episodes. So as of this point, I'll go ahead and read what they are.
Yeah.
So number 1 spot is Why is Danielle a Monster?
Oh yeah. And do you think that's just because it's the first one?
I think it's because it's the first one. We had a lot of people.
Thank you all.
Thank you. A lot of family. We're tuning in for that. Second one, which is the second episode, are All Freelancers Nocturnal. That was, I remember specifically talking about that one because we did that in November, which is a busy, busy month.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure we were both very sleep deprived when we recorded that.
So tired. We're so tired.
Number 3 is a more recent one.
Oh,
it is one we recorded on April 2nd. And it's How Do You Always Stay Creative?
Oh, I love that. That was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
I felt really, I love them all.
I love them all equally.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
No. You do not. But that was one of my favorites. Like that's also interesting too. Like looking back at the podcast, like which episodes stand out to me. That one really stood out to me.
Number 4, December 19th. This is Who Are the Ghosts of the Freelance Future?
Oh, cool.
So that was our episode. We were talking about like all of our goals for 2024.
I already didn't meet one of them.
Oh, I am very behind on some of my goals.
I'm really behind on my reading, but that's not the one that I can't fix.
Actually, the reading one, you've changed me. I'm on book 8.
You're ahead of me on book. Like
but I think it's okay because my main goal into it was like my Peloton minutes. Right. And I'm not near my goal. I'm not on track for my goal for Peloton minutes, but I have well exceeded my reading goal. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, it's all about balance.
My reading goal fell off, and part of why I've just had a lot going on, but also I realized that I set goals unnecessarily sometimes in my life. And so like setting like a really aggressive reading goal for this year maybe was not the best thing for me to do. It's only May, like I may catch up.
You might, you never.
But the one that I definitely didn't do is I did not do the bridge run in Charleston. It's because I couldn't figure out the logistics for childcare.
Oh, that's fine.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
And number 5.
This is fun.
Are societal expectations haunting women's professional styles?
The Barbie episode.
April 9th.
The Barbie episode.
I love that one.
That was a good one.
I felt like that one resonated too with a lot of our female listeners.
Yeah. Maybe some male listeners too.
Yeah.
Some non-binary listeners.
Definitely.
Is that shorts in a meeting?
Yeah, that was shorts in a meeting.
Is it a lifeguard meeting? Y'all, that was one of my best off-the-cuff comments probably said in my entire life. Is it a lifeguard meeting?
That was good. So I have to ask, are there any, like, out of all of our episodes, are there any that you feel like you're maybe not in the top 5, that you feel like were just the ones you really liked?
This might be a little bit of like recency bias. I think that's what it's called. The one that came out today. So it's not going to be on there. But the one that came out today.
Well, it's on there. It's just at the bottom now because it just came out.
The one.
The good projects, the good, the bad, and the WTF is the scope.
Yeah. I thought that one was good. But honestly, like the How Do You Say Creative and the Barbie episode are my 2. If I had to pick 2 from the whole season, those are my 2.
For sure. 2. So one that I love. And
is it not on there?
Well, no, it's near the bottom.
Oh, what is it?
And I'm going to make everyone go listen to it and I'll explain why I liked it. It's the episode that is, Can 2 Designers Be More Different?
Oh, yeah.
And we did this February 20th. Okay. And I felt like...
Was that the rapid fire one?
It was a rapid fire. Yeah. And it's kind of the reason I enjoyed it is because that's when we really embrace the fact that we realize that we are very different individuals. But it's also kind of what inspired a lot of our speaking topic of becoming a ghost boss. Yeah. Because we put a lot of what's in that episode into the speaking topic. So, and then one that just is not getting the views is Can Robots Be Ghost? And that one went
AI.
That one went fully into AI. And I guess everyone's like, oh, no, not into it.
Okay. We always ask this, but like this again, if there's anything that we haven't talked about that y'all want to hear more on, let us know. Like we're always interested in hearing what y'all want to hear about.
Definitely.
I mean, also like you don't have to tell me what to talk about. I'll just talk.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. But if there's anything specific, we got some good feedback on the pricing. And
I will say we have a lot of listeners that are good about saying like, hey, I'm starting off too. Can you maybe do an episode on this? Like Gray is great about sending us some topic ideas just based on what they're doing. They're trying to work on. So I think that and more people that send us some topics. Yeah. We can kind of build from those. So I think over the summer, I'll probably put some stuff on our social channels asking for topic suggestions from our listeners.
I love that Gray comments so much. You get a little shout out. Yeah, we played roller derby together. Yeah. So when I first started skating in 2009, everybody was like, there were certain skaters that like everybody knew. And there was a skater called graphic illustrator.
Oh, I love that.
Out of Greenville. And I was like, well, clearly we have to meet. And that was Gray's derby name. And I love it. Eventually we played on the same team together. At the time, I don't remember which Greenville team graphic illustrator was on, but we eventually played for the
So it was funny. Together. You had mentioned to me you knew a Gray in Greenville.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, it's not a terribly common name and to know a Gray in Greenville.
There's a lot of Danielles in Columbia. Yeah. Not a lot of Grays in Greenville.
And I was like, I met a Gray from Greenville, and it was at a career fair at SCAD. And I remember showing Gray my my portfolio, and I was a young designer, still learning my favorite fonts. And in that portfolio, I had a lot of use of Gill Sans. And
I've heard the story. I love that you're telling it on the pod.
And Gray looked at me and was just like, this is a great book. Do it all over in a different font. And I'll tell you what, I have not touched Gill Sans since that day. I've burned it in my mind. But you know what? I appreciate it.
Gray, if you hear this, or I used to, as I called you, graphic.
Yes.
Is what I called you for years, but Gray/graphic. If you hear this, Danielle doesn't use Gill Sans now because of you.
Yeah. Death of Gill Sans. Maybe that'll be our next sticker that we make.
So that's personal stuff we've learned on the podcast. From a technical standpoint, I've learned
a lot.
That I'm not as much of a strong, independent, smart woman as I thought I was. I get outsmarted by this board, and there's buttons on it that I don't know what they do.
We're going to take a picture of that before we leave.
What are these buttons?
We need to show you all what we're...
I also have the same question. There's these buttons and there's lights on them. Anytime I see a DJ somewhere, I also want to know what the buttons...
Well, don't they make noises? Click on it. We're just going to have fun today. Click these things. Click a red one. I told you, click another one.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
But can you hear that on the podcast?
I think so.
I'm like away from the microphone.
If you can't, I'll cut this whole episode. Is that someone else's podcast? So these are some of the joys of working in a communal space.
I'm assuming
we should be using that one a lot. Hit it again. There's a lot of high-tech stuff in this room.
I don't even think it's high-tech. I think I just don't know what I'm doing.
I used to think I was very tech-savvy.
Oh, same.
Before podcasting.
Same. We're doing
it's great. Just a different world of tech-savvy, though.
It's just, I don't understand what's
traditionally, especially in the type of the design that I normally do, I am not typically having to record audio. Mm-hmm. I definitely don't have to typically edit audio.
You're doing great.
And so there's a lot that goes into this. So I've learned new skill sets.
You're doing awesome.
Which is great. I can offer my clients these services now.
You can.
But it has been a nice little learning curve.
It's been good. I feel like I just love to see the progression from a tech standpoint over the last year. It's been fun.
Yeah.
I know this is work more for you than me, but it sometimes work for me. I had to go dig in a closet to find a picture of myself in college.
I do make you do some things.
Y'all should see the pictures that Danielle did not approve to go on social media. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
Yes.
I love the feedback we get. If y'all text us about it or like comment on our stuff or like send us pictures of things you've drawn from the pod, like y'all have no idea how much that means to us.
Oh, it means so much.
And if you listen, and you're one of those people that I just mentioned, we're probably very close friends and like I love that.
Yeah.
But if you listen and I've never met you,
isn't that the coolest feeling? We had some people DM us on Instagram that were like new, just fresh listeners.
Oh,
they just found us.
I love it.
Like, that's really cool. This community is just going to keep growing and growing and growing. So I'm going to put this officially on the pod.
Yeah.
So it's our last recording of season 1. We are over 2,000 downloads in season 1. So I'll be curious when we get to season 2.
What we get?
What the end of that number will be.
Yeah. I also love it when I met somebody for coffee recently.
Yeah.
And she'd seen me speak on a panel and then wanted to like follow up. And so we're having coffee and she was like, not to be weird, but like, I listened to some of your episodes and like, I have some questions. I'm like, if I put it on the internet for everybody to see, it's not weird. Actually, it's a little flattering that you listen to my episodes.
Isn't it weird? We're building a fan base.
I love it. But yeah, so if I'm ever talking to you and you've listened to this podcast, anything that I've disclosed here, it's not weird that you know that.
No, it's definitely not weird.
It's not weird.
And I would prefer if you tell me that you listen to it and not just...
Like now, if you know like what I do right before bed every night,
that'd be weird.
That's weird.
That's weird.
Why do you know that?
Because we aren't talking about that on the pod.
We aren't talking about that. It's nothing scandalous, but it's just if you know specifically, like I like take off my makeup and do this, like do things in this order.
Yeah.
Why do you know that?
There are times that we've done enough episodes at this point that sometimes I forget that we talked about stuff on the podcast.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And it's funny, especially since I'm the one editing it and I'm putting it out there. But there's been a couple recently that someone has texted me and I'll be like, oh, is that out now?
Oh my! So this happened to me, not exactly the same, but kind of similarly. When I was listening to the first cut of today's episode last night, some of our banter is so familiar to me that I'm like, didn't we already release this?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no, this is just how we.
Like when Whitney texted us this morning about the tattoo.
Yeah.
I was like, that was random. And I was like, oh, that episode just came out.
It just came out. I was like, so thanks for listening, Whitney.
Yay. She's always the first one.
She's always the first one. But yeah, this has been a really fun journey. And I just can't thank everybody enough for coming along with us.
Yeah. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for making our dream a reality.
It's fun. I mean, this is, Danielle and I, as freelancers, we work a lot.
Yeah.
And working for yourself is a high stress job and it's intense. And this is something really fun. And
that's what I kind of joked about with the whole podcast thing, because we are full-time freelancers and we've figured out how to start a side hustle.
Yeah.
While freelancing full-time.
Yeah. And it's just cool. I just, and I love to hear like how it resonates with people and how other people are like, they get it. And like, this feels like we're just sitting around like talking shop with other professionals.
For sure.
That's exactly what I want it to feel like. So it's great.
So I'm excited when we get some guests on here.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to do a mix of people that are in Colombia, get them in the studio, but then also do a mix of some people that will do virtually, have them record. And then we're trying to get a good variety of people. So mostly other freelancers, maybe some people who used to be freelancers, but now they've grown it into a full agency, maybe some agency owners.
Some professors.
I'm putting it on the podcast, but I have Steve Pacheco. Who is the CEO of AAF. We talk about AAF enough on this podcast. He has already said he'll do it. I told him I just need to get logistics figured out.
Yeah, we don't want to be ironing this out in front of him. No.
So but I want Steve Pacheco to come on here because AAF, it has been so crucial to both of us with starting our own companies and continuously growing our own companies that I would love to get him on here to kind of talk about his perspective and what's to come with the organization.
Yeah. When I think about the guests that we have, so like you and I like check some very specific boxes, right? Like we're creatives in design, big umbrella design, part of AAF, freelancers, right? So where I want to see the overlap is I'm curious and excited to get people on who have one of those boxes.
Yeah.
Right. So like maybe they're also a freelancer, but they do copywriting. Yeah. Right. They're also a creative, but they work at an agency or they work in-house, right? Or they're just involved with AAF at some level.
They're an illustrator that we're really, really jealous of.
Right.
Because we have both said we want to be
I'm not an illustrator. No. They're a professor who teaches all this stuff that we do. So yeah, because I'm rattling off all the people who've already told me they're going to be. Oh yeah, and I'm like, but they don't do what we do, but they can still come inside. Yeah. And then I've got a friend who like wants to be on it, who I'd like to have as a guest. Who like he and I have the same, like we came through school at the same time, and so we majored in journalism and minored in graphic design, but like have different trajectories. Yeah. And so it's just interesting to compare that too.
For sure.
So yeah, we'll get some USC alum on it. We'll get some SCAD alum on. Yeah. Call your people.
Great.
Sure you still talk to someone.
Great. You want to be on the pod?
Hey.
We can talk about the death of Gil Sands together.
Yes, that's right. And what it was like to go to school in beautiful Savannah.
Oh, yes.
I loved going to USC, but like it wasn't Savannah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
say something, and then I'm like, no, I
won't. So that's been Season one. That's been our journey. Thank you for joining us on it. Thank you to everybody. Yes. We love y'all. And then remember, we'll be dropping some bonus episodes. It's on my plate. Freshly edited by Eva. Doing the best I can out here. We will try to drop those. I think we said every other week at least. So you might get more. You won't get less. You won't get less, but we have some queued up. I just have to go and edit them. We might get feisty and come in and record a couple extra bonuses over the summer. I have a good feeling that will happen. We're going to miss each other. Yeah. We're used to being in here like every week. Yeah. I can't take a photo. I wish everyone could see how I could only see the top of Eva's head every time we record. It's our setup. It's only like this portion. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll get a better setup at some point. And then we record and she like cuts the video together and I'm like, Danielle, my face. Y'all, I text her in all caps. That's what we should do. Photos without context. One of my text messages to you, Danielle. That's my face. That's your face. It does so much. No wonder I'm so tired. This is doing a lot. It's a lot during the day. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for a wonderful first season. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at the end of the summer. Yes. Bye. Bye. Remember to follow us on Instagram at Ghost Boss Podcast. And also please like and review us on your favorite podcast app.